Welcome along to the return of FireRed. It's been a while since we've been in the Generation 3 games, and I needed to relearn everything about this game. So back in November, I created this video for the HM friends to see if we wanted to go back to FireRed permanently, and it was a resounding yes. So before we get into the actual FireRed challenges, I want you all to enjoy this video. Now, it is going to be slightly different to what we're used to in terms of editing style and gameplay, but I really hope you have fun watching it. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the run. Welcome along everybody to the pilot episode of the return of FireRed. We are running on a very, very budget and basic version of the challenge run patch. You can see I've not even bothered to style this menu yet. But we should be able to pick our Pokemon, pick our hidden power types, to set our IVs, pick our nature and pick our ability if we have one for this particular challenge. Now this is probably going to be a very, very ramshackle video. It's going to be HM Friends exclusive because it's a pilot, and the outcome of this run will not be canon. This is literally just for me to learn the game again, to figure out what on earth is going on in FireRed, and to try and get a little bit better at the game. Now that's one of the bugs actually in the challenge run patch. It will at the moment say triple question mark, or however many question marks it was, for the rivals Pokemon, because I've not set that correctly yet. However, the rival will still get the correct Pokemon. It's just a little text glitch there. So the timer has started and we are using a brand new custom timing software that I've written. We tested it out in the Sunflora 4 moves video whenever that came out for all of you, and it seemed to work fairly well, so I'm now giving it its test in Generation 3. I've forgotten most of how to run Gen 3, so there's probably going to be a lot of umming and ahhing, but one of the things about this timing software is as soon as I let go of the controller, the timer stops, and then as soon as I start pressing buttons again, the timer resumes. Now there is a little bit of lag either side, but I've made it so that it always resyncs itself. And when I'm thinking an awful lot as I need to in Gen 3, that is going to really help. I think some of the times were a little bit inflated because I kept forgetting to pause while trying to figure out where on earth I was supposed to go next. Gen 3 is a lot more complex than Gen 2. Even though Gen 2 is longer, I actually think all the Gen 3 games have far many more things to remember. Now, when it comes to HM friends, we are going to need to learn to catch them and remember to catch them, at least for now. I do not have the ability or the knowledge with Gen 3's coding language in order to replace the HM friends with HM items, but that is part of the long-term aim for the series. We will, of course, keep the timer paused while we catch the HM friends, and looks like we are actually activating our ability in this catching tutorial. I love how Gen 3 janks these. In Emerald, I should say, it actually just replaces your entire party, so the overlay changes to the other Pokemon, to the Zigzagoon, when you do the catching tutorial. And you'll have to excuse me, my brain is not really firing on full cylinders at the moment doing this. There's an awful lot I'm trying to remember, and it's very, very difficult actually, because this is my second run of the day. I've just finished the Ursaring Supermon video. I'm sure that video will be out for all of you lovely HM friends by the time this gets uploaded. I've no idea how this run's going to go either. I'm just going to see and hope for the best. And I can't remember if it was in this take or the previous take that I mentioned that GameHook actually slows down at the Gen 3 engine quite a lot. We're at about 200 FPS as opposed to being at a nicer 240 FPS, which does then mean we're actually at about 3.5 times speed instead of 4 times speed, so I'll need to change that on the overlay. I've tried many different fixes and nothing seems to work for getting GameHook to not slow the game down without at least interfering with the Gen 2 runs. And I don't want to have two different settings files that I need to load in for depending on what runs we're doing, because then I will inevitably forget, I will mess up, And we'll end up with the wrong settings for the wrong generation, and we'll be either too fast or too slow, and nobody will have a good time. So we're just going to deal with the 3.5 times. Now, I am going to let go of the controller just for a moment, because I have realised I need to load up the correct controller trigger. So, to pull back the curtain a little bit, I have a little script that I run, which does all the things like counting up the resets, does the title cards. I can place markers in as well. So hopefully now if I do that, yeah, Brock's title card has come in. That's what we want to see. The timer should now manually resume if I do that. There we go. So we can face Brock. Oh, we're on auto pause for some reason. A little bit of a bug there. Can we get it un-auto-pausing, I wonder? This is why we do tests, and this is why I'm doing a pilot for once. Let's try restarting the timer, shall we? See if that does anything. Oh, we are definitely stuck there. So we're on 3:22 at the moment. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go, would you look at that? That's an amazing thing. And the auto-split worked, goodness me. So that means we are through Brock. The auto-splitting is working. And I can now catch a bunch of Pokémon, so that we will be able to get Flash a little bit later on. So we have caught our first few Pokemon, and now we can get on with clearing out some of the trainers here on this next route. I seem to remember they take quite some time. We should probably buy some repels as well if we're going through Mount Moon. I remember that Mount Moon was a very, very annoying section of this game, and I'm very glad that at least in Gen 3 you do get the option for repels, because when we did the yellow runs, that was not an option. It was not particularly pleasant. So I tell you what, let's go and grab them now before I forget. I'm not really that bothered about the time on this one, I've got to be honest. This is more about refreshing my memory in the hopes that I can at least get this one across the line in a fairly respectable time. Also, those 30 resets there came from resetting the Pokeballs with the HM friends, so we'll set those back to 0. A lot of the time, actually, when you see the reset counter go up erroneously is because I've done a retake with a little line or something that I've said, and because it's linked to my controller and the load state button, as soon as I press that, the reset counts up, whether I want it to or not. I really should have some way of undoing a reset, but that's high effort. And it's one of those, I'm one of those people, if you can make do with what you've got and jank it like I have done for so many years here on the channel, that's exactly what I will do. But I think I do need to try and at least get a couple more automated things in place. Like having the controller trigger for the HM Friends, the Gym Leader title cards. That seems like such a mini thing to have that improves the editing process, but it really does help out. We've got Kenya here. We will, of course, rename this to Kenya like we always do. I always like it when Kenya's female. I always think of Kenya as being a female Pokemon. We do not, however, need another. And we will eventually find our third. Because this is just a pilot episode as well, I'm not going to add any music or anything. It's going to be a really rough cut. This is kind of just like a behind-the-scenes look of how the runs get made in a very, very, very rough way. So what does that Jigglypuff take us up to? 8. We should be fine now to leave here. Or we can get the Mankey. That will guarantee us 9. You can see there we loaded the state and we instantly counted up. Which is great for in battle, but out of battle not so much. And now that we've done that, we should be able to resume the timer. I'll do a heal here and I will just yeet some of these Pokemon that we don't need into the box. And then we will draw our Spearow, because that is the first HM friend we're actually going to be having throughout the course of this run. I seem to remember there's some kind of berry here. A Persimmon berry, can't remember what that does. To be quite honest with you, could be useful, it might be absolutely crap. We will never know. Oh, bloody hell, didn't mean to... She's got a Clefairy, isn't she? At least we can't get cute charmed by her. So our first move, Ancient Power in a level. Jeez. No, I must remember to keep on running, actually. What do you want, Josh? Nobody cares. We're going to outspeed and we're going to one-shot most things around here. Oh, you can bog off. Now we want to keep the repel off in this section so that we can get Paris. Because Paris will help us out. Let's set a state. We're in a state trying to get this Paris, aren't we? There we go. And now we can set another repel going, actually. Reset the resets while I remember. Plonk on a repel, and we've been caught by this rocket. At least we'll get Ancient Power now. I love Sunshrew, I hate beating them up. And yeah, this video is going to be very, very, very long form. Hugely lack of editing. It's just going to be clip after clip. The stream of consciousness. I don't know if you'll all enjoy this, you might all hate it. But I thought, why not? I've never recorded and released any pilot episode before. I might have some funny moments in here that would otherwise get lost to the ether. I think we're making good time. I don't know. I feel so lost in this generation. What's that? The Helix? We'll take the Helix. It's straight in front of us. Oh, and we don't get ambushed by Jesse and James, do we? Because those set of so-and-sos are in another game. Any berries or anything around here that we need? Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright. Into the Pokemon Center we go. Now, I do remember there being a rare candy somewhere in here. Can I remember the exact spot? Can I bloody hell? Where is it? It's hiding from us. I'm fairly certain there it is. There's a rare candy. Now we are going to have to deal with Rival 2 now. He should hopefully be fine. We should have more than enough in our speed and our special attack to take care of it. Oh, we've been sand attacked. Isn't that glorious? I remember now why I wasn't a big fan of this game. Right, what does Water Pulse do here? Oh, we've been confused. Oh, he's been confused and Sleep Powder's missed. He hits himself in confusion, he just gets rid of himself. I'm happy with that. Abra comes out, Abra can do the grand total of nothing against us. And then we can beat up a rat as well. Perfect. Through Rival 2. And you may notice that I am not anywhere near as enthusiastic and as energetic. It's not because I'm bored or anything. It's just when you do content, and especially when you've worked in media like I have for, God, how many years? How long ago was 2010? 15 years at least, maybe even... No, it's 2009 actually, jeez. 16 years I've been doing things on and off in the media, and you develop two kind of voices. You develop your natural speaking voice, which is what I'm using now, which is very relaxed. It's not particularly strenuous on the throat. And then you develop the more active and energetic and yeah and wow, everything is great voice, which is what I quite often end up defaulting to in a challenge running, just because it makes it more engaging, it makes it more interesting. I sound like I am actually having a good time, Instead of like here where I sound like I'd rather be anywhere else, but I'm actually enjoying myself. Now I've just had a little look actually at the level up learn set, and I forgot that Gen 3 legendaries have such a weird curve when it comes to moves. Like you get nothing for 10 levels, and then you get 2 moves in 5 levels each. Then you get nothing for 10 levels, then it's 2 moves in 5 levels. It's very... excuse me, it's very, very weird. But I will be looking forward to having Body Slam. That should get us through at least Misty, maybe even more than Misty, you never know. Now, this particular person at the top, I was going to swear then, but I'm going to try and keep this video family friendly, even though it is HM Friends only. This lovely specimen of a human being is going to ambush us there, and oh, I forgot about you. People who know me know that I have really bad colour vision for green, so I genuinely did not see him. He blended in too well. That's the trouble with the good colour palette of Gen 3. I'm unable to see. No, I think Abra lives here in Gen 3. Abra does in fact live here in Gen 3, but 23 flaming resets is what it took in order to get an Abra. Bloody hell. We are absolutely going to save scum this to make sure that we catch it. There we go. We've got another HM friend. Let's reorder them in the party. So up 1 to there. Then up 1 to there. So Abra, Kenya, Paris, and then when we get our Lapras, we'll swap Lapras and Paris around. Let us now resume the timer. Is that going? I hope it's going. Yes, it is. We're going to teleport back to the Pokémon Center, do a quick PP heal. Then we'll get on with the rest of the Nugget Bridge. We might as well do it now, so that hopefully we will get slightly better ranges for Misty. That's the plan anyway. Oh, we need to clear those resets. Now we're just going to beat up a bunch of stuff again. We've learnt Body Slam, which is going to be kind of useful, but you've got to remember there's a lot of Intimidate in this generation, isn't there? And with a lot of Intimidate, we have the issue of physical attacks suddenly become very, very useless indeed. Now, I seem to remember there's a special TM around these parts as well. That if you don't make a trainer move to you, then you have to come back for it later when you've got cut. Let's test out Body Slam. Not bad. I mean, the Slowpoke's got nothing to harm us anyway. Level 21 acquired. Oh, these things have friggin' poison point, don't they? Doy. I remembered just as I clicked Body Slam, for goodness sake. Do we have an antidote? Haven't bought any heals in this game. That's the trainer in question, isn't it? We have to draw him out. I could be very, very immature about this hiker's name. I'm not going to be. I'll let you all be immature for yourselves. But he's in a lot of games, actually, isn't he? Because isn't that one of the translators' names? Wasn't one of the translators a knob? I have a feeling that one of the translators for the game was a knob, but I could be wrong. Oh, it's Secret Power. I doubt we're going to be using Secret Power considering we've got Body Slam. Because we'll be probably sacking Ancient Power for Calm Mind. And then we'll grab Ice Beam as well. I think that'll be the final learn set then. Maybe, actually no, we'll swap Surfing at some point when we get it. But other than that, I think we're pretty close to having a good learn set already. Which, for a Legendary, is very nice to see. Hello, Bill. Yes, we know your secret. I'm not going to reveal your secret. It's fine. And then it doesn't bother to auto-teleport you. That would have been nice for the game, wouldn't it? Right, so Pokemon Teleport. Quick heal. Then I think Misty has a mandatory in this one. I don't think we can surf to assert dominance like we can in Gen 2. Unless we can get up there and chat with her. Or we can. This is Misty. She leads with a Staryu. We're going to body slam the Staryu into next week. Starmie comes out, it starts swifting at us. We're speed tied, but now we're not speed tied. She's a scumbag and has a lot of heals, but we're fine. Level 23 acquired. Cascade badge acquired in 1528. Bloody hell. In Johto would be like, especially with KYOGRE, I think would be probably just about Morty at the moment. This game is so bloody slow. And now we are getting on the boat to do this incredibly tedious section of the challenge. And I want to tell you a little bit more about why I'm deciding to record this pilot. As a lot of you have probably seen that community post, I'm not the happiest with the state of the channel at the moment. And I do think a lot of that is because we have been focusing an awful lot on gimmicks lately for the last couple of years. And I want to get back to our roots doing some classic challenges. So we're going to be going back to FireRed, we're going to be going back to Emerald in this new clip-based format, which I'm sure doesn't mean too much for you as a viewing audience, but ostensibly, instead of recording in one big block and then voicing over later, I'm recording in clips and editing as I go, and it makes things so much more bloody manageable compared to how I was doing things before, and it's a lot easier to then create the 3 videos a week. But that does pose a question. We're going to be going back to Pokémon, obviously, that have evolution lines. And I want to know, do you want me to do the full line, or do you want me to start at the end of the line for the challenges in Gen 3? In Gen 2, we're actually going to be going back to the main leaderboard quite a fair bit next year. I think we've got like 20-odd videos on the main leaderboard, so 2 videos a month, which shall be nice. It'll be very lovely to go back to regular Gen 2 videos after so long. I'm still sticking with the 4 moves, and I'm still sticking with Supermon. And then we're also going to be doing, hopefully, a Kanto Gym Leader series as well, just to give us some extra little content in Gen 2. But I really want to go back to our roots next year. And we got that puzzle first time. Sorry, I'm thrown there. I want to go back to our roots next year and really just continue on with what we enjoyed so much. With the challenges to begin with, without any of the gimmicky BS, as it were. We're avoiding backports on pre-recorded videos for the most part next year, and because all of you lovely people are the people who have paid to support the channel, well, it doesn't really make a difference in how I'll treat anyone. Of course, I'm always going to listen to all of you, so if you have any consensus, any opinion on what you'd like to see from the channel, please don't feel like you're not able to ask or suggest. I am very much all ears. That was a nice surge battle as well, wasn't it? Got through fairly easily. Can we buy super repels here? No, you smell. Let us now try and remember what the friggin' hell we're supposed to do here. I think we need to repel in here. Go all the way back. Oh, hello. Level 29 Dugtrio. Nice bit of experience there. Of course, we are underleveled. And all these bloody things will have arena trap. So we have no choice but to beat them up. And if you are spotting anything in the routing... Oh, there's an item there in Gen 2, isn't there? If you are spotting anything in the routing that doesn't seem to make too much sense... Does he give us anything? No. Please do let me know of any shortcuts, any efficiencies you can think of. Because I'm pretty clueless in Gen 3. I know Gen 2 very well. Ether, Parley's Heal. Is there a rare candy? No, I'm gas lamping myself there. Oh, bloody hell, I knew what I meant to do. I meant to go into the Pokemon fan club so that we could get the bike voucher. I remember for next time. Walk of shame all the way back through Diglett's cave. Actually, that'll give us a good idea of how common the Dugtrio encounter is in here. Seems like it's a fairly rare thing. So yeah, we go here, don't we? We chat with him. Oh, we can't talk to him behind the sofa. That's a very uncomfortable looking sofa, actually, isn't it? And then if we teleport, we get back to Cerulean because we need to go back this way anyway. And we can grab the bike. So now we don't have to rely on that dodgy holding B. And we can just cycle. We're very high up on that bike, actually, aren't we? Or now does Cerulean Pokemon sell repels? Because otherwise we're going to be a bit out of luck. Thank God it does. We'll buy 11. We'll buy 10 supers as well. Probably overbuying there, but better to be safe than sorry, especially in the early parts of the challenge when I don't quite remember everything yet. And now we are in everyone's favourite place, Bloody Rock Tunnel. Ugh. I didn't like this. I really don't like this place at all. We need to teach Flash to our Paras, don't we? So we're actually able to see our way through this benighted place. And I will be doing one of these videos for Emerald as well. Let me know, actually, if you're enjoying this more chilled, laid-back, longer editing form for the video. I don't think I'll do it for the main content, but every so often, especially for a little special HM Friends cut, as it were, I'm really enjoying taking it very slowly, and it's almost podcasty-like, isn't it, compared to regular videos where it's beat by beat by beat. This is very much background noise, playing along together in a more long-form manner, comparatively speaking. And I'm really having a lot more fun doing this than I thought I would. In a bit of pain, actually, though, because I barely move when doing challenge runs. And with this being the second run of the day, I'm starting to cramp all over the flaming place. Let us try and paralyse this Oddish. Thank goodness Sleep Powder missed there. And hopefully we can do the same against this Bulbasaur. And I wonder, actually, as well, how much Drizzle is slowing us down in this run, or whether we're making up time by virtue of immediately having a 1.5 times, or is it double? I can never remember for Rain. Multiplayer to our water-type moves. Not that it makes a difference with someone like Alan. His Geodude's going down regardless, innit? Oh, we're only 2 levels off our next good move now. Oh, the camera moved there. Hiker Oliver is this hiker. Actually, when I was... because I've changed my name by Deedpool, I'm sure I've mentioned it on the channel before. One of the names I was considering, actually, was Oliver. I didn't go for it in the end. But it definitely was an option. I like that name. Didn't pick Lucas, though. Although, come to think about it, that's now 2 of my nephews-in-law's names, both in this cave. What are the chances of that, I wonder? And there we go. I think we're on to the final trainer out of this benighted place at long flaming last. I really do not like Rock Tunnel as a place. It's much more tolerable in Gen 2, where I've got that little cheat sheet to help me cycle through it backwards. Oh, and the repel wears off just as we are getting very close to the end. I think it's going to be quicker to deal with the encounter than it would be to worry about sticking on another repel. And now we are in Lavender Town, and I seem to remember we've got to go all the way over to Cerulean pretty quickly, actually, in this one. We will have a little look at Rival 3 now, I want to say. I've lost track already. See if we can get through. If we can't, we'll go straight to Cerulean. Celadon, rather, not Cerulean. Calm Mind, yes please, in place of Scary Face. We weren't using it anyway. We're getting really good paralysis luck with Body Slam so far. Ah, we low-rolled that time. Get through the Gyarados. Onto the Growlithe. He's got nothing for us here. Although he could burn us, which would be mean. And Kadabra Body Slam. Oh, of course, we got intimidated, didn't we? And we're going to get intimidated twice on these runs. But it's nice to get him out of the way. Now, there's going to be no real structure to what I talk about in this video. Normally, at least with the Gen 2 runs that I do for everybody, I will at least have a rough idea of what I want to talk about throughout the course of the run. Today, I'm just letting the stream of consciousness flow, and hopefully this video is out well before December, because I want to talk about the schedule in December. I'm actually going to be taking a couple of weeks off, not from videos, but from live streams. I'm taking, I think it's something like from the 11th to just after Christmas off, so I'm going to be going up to mostly, if not exclusively, daily videos for that December period, and in December I'm going to try and do some Gen 3 streams to prep ourselves for going back to Gen 3 with the prereqs when we get into the new year. Now, the plan is at the moment to take Gen 3 very slowly. We're going to do once a fortnight in a Gen 3 game, and we will alternate between both FireRed and Emerald. So we're only going to be doing, I think, 13 runs each of the year, because of course it's every 4 weeks and there are 4 sets of 13 weeks in the year. Now, I feel like there's something we should be picking up in Cerulean, but in Celadon. But I genuinely cannot remember what it is. Is Ice Beam a spend all your money TM? I wonder, is that what I'm thinking of? TM13, 4,000 coins. Bloody hell, that's a lot. How much money do we... Ha! Nowhere near enough. Good to know. So it looks like we ain't using Ice Beam for the Erica battle, unless we delay it a little bit. You never know. I've got to remember how to do this bloody rocket section now as well. This will be fun. I haven't done it in over a year. Oh, we've got to press the switch first to reveal the stairs, of course. How could I forget? Now, there's going to be a bunch of crap in here that we don't want to pick up, but I've forgotten which items we do want to pick up. So we're going to inspect most of them, I think. So we will eventually find the items that we do want to pick up. And then we'll know which items to pick up. I am very fortunate, actually, that generally, once I've been through an area for the first time, or at least refreshed my memory, I'm pretty good at remembering which bits to pick up and which ones we don't want to pick up. So I don't think this is a... Yeah, it's crap, isn't it, at next speed. Moonstone we can't even sell. Taunt, I don't think we can learn. Super Potion, absolutely no need for that, so we'll rewind. And this is one of the areas where I am just completely drawing a blank with what to do, I've got to be honest. Kind of wish this was a live stream so I knew what we were supposed to do. So I don't actually think there's anything in this room, is there? I think we're supposed to go one floor lower first and then do that puzzle. I could be wrong, I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments if I am wrong. But yeah, it's stuff like this I need to remember the most efficient routing, so that we don't get time mounting up. We are kind of in a lot of ways where we were in, call it about October to November 2022 in Crystal, where we had a good idea of what to do, but we still didn't have all of those time saves in place. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but the reason I was so confident from day one with my routing in Crystal is I spent... Oh, a rare candy. Oh, a piece of candy. I spent a very long time before creating any content in Crystal having a look at the world record and other speedruns for Crystal to learn the routing so that when it came to doing live runs, I knew what I was doing, I knew exactly where I should be going. And so I went in with a bit of an advantage. And then from there, you adapt the run and you adapt what you're supposed to do. Because obviously there are some bits in the Crystal speedrun that rely on things like X speed, and you do slightly different movement because you're going to catch, I think it's the Raikou, at least in the meta I was watching. Whereas now, I don't think they get that, or they do something else. I can't quite remember. But then it was about adapting that routing to be suitable to no items in battle, and running any old Pokemon, not the same Pokemon at time in and time out. But yeah, I think I did well with the Crystal routing, and I really, really want to get to a place where I can consider myself a good runner in multiple Pokemon games. Because it's a big boost of confidence being able to do this. And I've spoken at great length in the past about my many, many confidence issues. Like, I completely lack self-belief. I completely lack self-confidence. But then getting all these comments saying I'm doing such a good job, it meant the world to me, and it still does. Like, the comments are what keep me going, especially in the periods where self-doubt comes in like it has done over the last couple of years with the channel, especially because of all the unforced breaks due to bloody illness, which meant that then YouTube decided not to push me as hard and things started to drop off a little bit. But that is why we keep on persevering, and I've got that attitude of I'm never going to give up. I enjoy this too much. I enjoy being around all of you lovely people. I enjoy all of your company. And I feel like if I was just doing it for the views and just doing it for the money, I'd have left a long time ago. Anyway, this has been a bloody long clip, hasn't it? 8 minutes, jeez. We're through the rocket section now, though, at least. I've decided I'm going to give Erica's gym a quick go now as well, because we have reached level 35. And that gives us Ice Beam. We've got a huge special attack already. So I'm hoping that will be enough to see us through the rest of her gym. We've got Scary Mary here with her Bellsprout. We can probably just body slam the Bellsprout. No need to use any Ice Beam PP. Same with the Oddish. Why have you got a level 22 Oddish at this point? Oh, you've got 5 Pokemon. Maybe we don't take on Scary Mary in the future. Maybe instead we take one of the side paths. Oh, an Ivysaur. We've not seen any of those. Absolutely not. Right, Erica, Celadon Gym, Grass-type Specialist. Let's see how we do. She leads with Victory Bell. We're going to Ice Beam. We're going to one-shot. Up next is Tangela. God, it looks like it's been electric shocked there, doesn't it? Dragged through a hedge backwards as well. 3 one-shots. Erica, you're terrible. Rainbow Badge in 37.51. I don't know what's happened with the splits there. They've gone a bit haywire. I have to try and figure out what's doing that. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on those splits, make sure they don't keep going weirder and weirder. Now, I do think we get access to Fly now, because we have defeated Erica, which would be absolutely glorious. So let us grab Fly from the TM case. We'll teach it to our Kenya. And yeah, we can now fly all the way back to Lavender Town. I do believe we have even more rockets, but the more pressing question is, does Lavender Town sell any Super Repels? Yes, they do. Glorious. I love you. Let's get 20 and let us... First of all, sell the Pokeballs. We don't need them anymore. Not going to use that, not going to use that, not going to use that. Keep hold of that for now. So now I think we're actually in that mid part of the challenge as well, aren't we? Where we don't have that much we can do in terms of gym leaders for quite some time. We've got some storylines to be getting on with. I can't quite remember how long this section is. I know we'll be wanting to get Surf before we take on our next gym leader, Blaine, because I think he might have Sunny Day on his team, and that would obviously put the entire kibosh on our Drizzly plans, which is how we're planning on getting through this particular challenge. We're just going to boost our water-type moves and hope for the best. Or at least that's the best plan I've got up with. And this tower is giving me flashbacks to Morty's gym, where it's just Ghastly and Haunter over and over and over and over. Like, that gym really does bug me. Remember that rare candy? Oh, hey, here's the Marowak. Can get rid of it in one shot. Then I think we have a gauntlet of rockets. Yes, we do. I've played this game before. I can remember stuff. Not much. But I can just about remember stuff. Enough to get us by. Get up to 37. Now my brain is telling me Ice Beam should be in that slot. So I will move Ice Beam to that slot. Move order in this game is very particular for me, and it differs between generations. So in Gen 3 I like the status move in the far bottom slot, and in Gen 3 I like it in the third slot, because then you're not going to use those moves quite as much as any attacking moves. So you have to do 2 presses for those, and your attacking moves are just 1 press then. And it's exactly the same in this generation, but we've got that weird square pattern for the moves instead of the regular list pattern that we are so used to in Generations 1 and 2. I don't think, by the way, I'll be going back to Gen 1 in a hurry. There's too much jank. And I do think that is the most oversaturated market. It's been a while since we played the Pokeflute at the Snorlax, and I always think the game crashes at that point because we obviously don't have in-game audio. Oh, we do not want to be sent to sleep. Oh, that's just rude, game. We low-rolled to be sent to sleep. Goodness sakes. Just means we will run from that Snorlax in future. And what I find incredibly egregious is the fact that just under here is a set of leftovers, but you have to use the item finder to get it. And that is just so bloody rude. I seem to remember there are items here that I should be picking up, but I can't remember where on earth they are. I remember there being one around a sign here, maybe. On this path. I think it's a rare candy. So I'm going to spend some time trying to find it. There it is. And then I think there's another item somewhere around here as well. Maybe an ether or elixir. Yeah, max elixir. Good items to have. And now I think we need to do the Safari Zone, don't we? It's such a scam that they charge 500 Pokédollars to get into the Safari Zone when you have a required item in this area. You'd think they'd at least give you the entrance for free. Have I gone the wrong way already? I might have gone the wrong way already. Full restore's nice. I'll need to plonk on a repel here as well, don't I? 17 supers left. Now, it's been a very long time since I've done the Safari Zone routing, so I'm relying entirely on memory here, and I'm constantly feeling like I have messed up where we're supposed to be going. A protein. Of course, in this generation we have EVs, not stat experience, so possibly not quite as useful. Though we do get the gold teeth, and this should be the strength HM, the surf HM rather, not the strength HM. Get double team, don't need that for the moment. And now we should be able to click retire. Get out of here, we caught nothing. We didn't catch our fair share, we caught 0 zilch zip. And now I am going to stress test the overlay and the timer software by doing a gym in the wrong order compared to the order I programmed them in. So we will get rid of Water Pulse and we'll replace it with Surf. And we'll go into KYOGRE's gym. Quick check of the title card. Yep, title card is working and it's showing his correct team. Because of course KYOGRE is, like many of the gym leaders, actually a repeat gym leader. But this one is part of the Elite Four in Gen 2, so I did want to double check that everything worked out just fine for somebody who's in 2 different trainer classes with the overlay. Very glad I built that protection in, and I really don't understand why in the Poison Gym there's people who have a lot of Psychic type Pokemon. But then in the Psychic type gym there are people who have a lot of Poison type Pokemon. Now apparently you can see the walls for the route through this gym, but I've never been able to see it myself. I don't know if it's just my bad colour vision or my bad vision in general, but I genuinely cannot see the walls. There we go, we've made it to KYOGRE. This is quite often the first reset actually in our Gen 3 runs, isn't it? Coughing goes down in 1 though as we grow up to 39. Muck has minimalised. We will finish it off hopefully with an Ice Beam. And there we go. Coughing's got no specials, so it should go away, and I'm hoping the same for the wheezing. Yeah, even though we're 4 levels under-leveled, we can defeat KYOGRE. And now I think I'm going to have to remove auto-splitting from the timer for FireRed at the moment, at least until I understand more about how GameHook works, because it keeps breaking in all of the wrong places. But I'm too committed to this run now to be able to stop it quite yet, so we'll just have to deal with it in this little pilot. But this is what pilot episodes are for. It's about finding what works, finding what doesn't work, and then hopefully adapting according to what does and doesn't work. And now we get to go all the way over here, because we want to face Blaine. And I might actually do full trainers in Blaine's gym. Should be a fairly easy gym for us. But of course, before we do Blaine's gym, we have to do this bloody mansion. I rebuilt this in Gen 2. That was fun to do, for an unspecified definition of fun. Because none of the coding for Cinnabar Mansion was in place. So I painstakingly rebuilt all the tile sets and rebuilt all of the switches and the code for the switches by hand from yellow to make sure that everything worked. I even got all the diary entries in. And there's a little Easter egg I've done where if you read all the diary entries, then I think you can get a Mewtwo spawning down there or something. I can't remember exactly what I did. It was a very long time ago. But I did genuinely enjoy trying to rebuild parts of Kanto, and it's something I want to get back to at some point. I fell out, and I'll be honest with you all here, because it is just HM friends. I had a bit of a falling out with the person I was working with. I'm not going to name him by name. And things didn't quite work out in the way I'd hoped. But you live and learn, and now it's a solo project, and to be quite honest, I did almost all of the code for that ROM hack, so I have no issue taking it over by myself as we move into our next gym together. And now, as we are working our way through this gym, I want to talk to you all a little bit again about some of the issues I face as a content creator, and one of them is having Crohn's. And a lot of people know it affects your digestive system, but one of the other side effects, at least for me, is excess, and cover your ears if you're squeamish, excess mucus production. And that is why my voice gets so raspy at times. It's because I've got an excess of mucus down there, and it's covering my vocal cords, so I do quite often have to clear my throat. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world. There's not much I can do about it. I'm on all of the correct medications to try and keep it in check. But that does mean I've had a few comments, especially in recent times actually, saying you should do this, you should do that, you should do the other, and I'm thinking I know what I'm doing. I've been dealing with it ever since I was a kid. I understand my own body, I understand the limitations of what I can get up to, and going to a university, as somebody said, and speaking to a doctor there, it's not going to help. Like, it's also not going to help talking to a vocal coach, because they cannot cure my Crohn's, where the issue lies. So, I do know that I quite often overstrain my voice, but I would be overstraining it anyway, but just by virtue of talking. So therefore I'd rather overstrain my voice doing something I enjoy and something I'm able to share with all of you. And that is what we've got here. Hoping that's the last gym trainer. Yes, it is. Timed that perfectly. Still love being able to speak exactly the time. That is one of my favourite skills that I picked up working at the casino. Let's take on Blaine now. Hopefully it'll be 4 one-shots, but I've got a feeling it might not be. Here comes Rapidash. There goes Rapidash. His last Pokemon's Arcanine, isn't it? Multi-intimidates, but we do get all the one-shots. Perfect. Volcano Badge acquired. Fire Blast. We're never going to be able to use that. And in fact, can we dig out of here? I'm going to assume no. But that would have been a nice time save if we could. Now we have to say no to Bill here, don't we? Because otherwise we are going to be forced to do the Sevies, and we don't want to be forced to do the Sevies. And now I do believe we have the fun of Silphco to come next. So we've picked up the T there from Celadon City, and now can I remember how to do Silphco after this long? I'm going to try it without a guide first. Let us see. I think we go to 5F first, maybe, question mark. And then I think it's around here we do we get into a bloody battle first with an Arbok. Of course, Arbok has Intimidate, but at least we grow up to level 43. We do the double teleport, and then that gets us the card key. Double teleports back, and then I think we're on 3F, I want to say. And I think this is mandatory. Of course, they're quick attacking. Will just be one-shots here, though. And then I want to say it's through here next. Yeah, this is a rival battle. Leads with Pidgeot this time. Misclicked there, so I'm going to rewind. I meant to use Ice Beam. One shot on the Pidgeot. Probably a 2-shot on this Venusaur. Raise Leaf does more damage than I'd hope there, but I'm hoping that'll be some of the last damage we take in this battle. Critical hit. Oh god, Dragon Rage. Ice Beam will finish it off though. Then we'll have Surf for the Growlithe. Of course, we've been double intimidated here. And we will Surf on the Alakazam. There we go. Get the Lapras here, and then when we go back to Fuchsia City to pick up the rare candy, we can also pick up Strength at the same time. We'll teach that to the newly acquired Lapras. Now we've got a couple of grunts left to go, I think, or maybe one grunt, and then we are at Giovanni. Giovanni should be an easy gym leader at least, because he's a ground type specialist, and we have a very, very strong water type. Let's take him on. Goodbye, Nidorino. Goodbye, Nido Queen. No thank you to Hydro Pump. Fake Out's a bit mean, but we one-shot the Kangaskhan. And then Rhyhorn stands no chance, does it? There we go, Giovanni defeated. Get the Master Ball. Don't think we'll need it. And then get the heck out of here. And that does bring us on to our penultimate gym leader, Sabrina. I think it's our penultimate. I hope it's our penultimate. She is a Psychic type specialist, leads with Kadabra. Kadabra goes down in 1. Mr. Mime comes out next. Surf does a lot of damage. Here comes Venomoth. There goes Venomoth. And we have Alakazam as well. Grow to level 46, defeats Sabrina in 57-39. I do like that this pattern is exactly the same as it is in Gen 2, so I don't need to remember anything. Let's take a look. Yep, we've got 7 badges. So now we will go back to Fuchsia City. So we will teach Strength now to our Lapras. so that we can move this boulder. And I tell you what, while we're at it, we'll teach Surf. Just on the off chance we want to forget Surf on our Kyogre for some weird reason. There's another rare candy. I think it's back to Viridian next, isn't it? And now, after taking care of both of the mandatories here in Viridian Gym, we do now have a clear route to Giovanni, where we will take him on. Again, not expecting anything too difficult here. We are the water type, he's the ground type specialist. We outspeed everything, we've got 131 in our speed stat. And we should have a very, very, very easy time. He's onto his Nidoking already, that just leaves Rhydon left to go. Rhyhorn rather left to go, I forget he doesn't have an evolved form. Up to 48 we go. Giovanni is defeated. Right, that's all 8 gym badges acquired, and now, because we are allowed to use rare candies whenever and wherever we like, I am going to use this opportunity to dump all 6 of our rare candies into Kyogre just because we have a very clean level. So it would make sense to me to use all of them while we are at the clean level point. So that does get us up to 54 for the final regular rival battle. We've come a long way in the last hour, haven't we? Let us engage the rival in one final battle. This time he is going to lead, of course, with Pidgeot. He doesn't change about, unlike his Gen 2 counterpart. We get rid of it in one, and we're on to Venusaur. Probably going to be a 2-shot. But we've frozen the Venusaur. Nice. That's kind of like we like to see. Rhyhorn's next. We'll continue Ice Beaming. There's much of a muchness between Surf and Ice Beam, and you know what? We'll Ice Beam the Gyarados as well, as he's only going for Leah. 2 high rolls that time is what I like to see. Onto the Growlithe we go. Surf away the Growlithe, and that just leaves Alakazam left. Surf one-shots because it's boosted by the rain. And we have defeated the rival. Let us now do a quick heal, and I'll make my way through Victory Road. I don't know which Victory Road I like less. The one here with all the strength puzzles, or the one in Hoenn that was clearly just made by a sadist. Neither of them is particularly enjoyable, Victory Road, especially with this spam of pillars at the end. But we have now made it into the Indigo Plateau. So we will heal up our Pokemon whether we need to or not. And we will deposit to the HM friends. So there's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Paris, and to Lapras. You've all been a great help getting us through the region. Get yourselves some well-deserved rest. While Lapras and I prepare... While Kyogre and I prepare to take on the Pokemon League, we will have a look at our stats before going into the league. We're looking like this. Level 5 with 194 HP. Holding nothing at the moment with 123 in attack, 128 in defense, 189 in special attack, 192 in special defense, 134 in speed. 15? We've got Surf, Ice Beam, Body Slam and Calm Mind as our moves. Let's do a quick save around at the start of the league, and we're prepared to go in. And now, as for predictions going into the league, I think we'll have an easy time, maybe up until the final rival battle. Final rival battle could be a bit of give and take. I am very quickly, I've just noticed, we are very close to another level, and we did pick up another rare candy. I'm going to very quickly brave the Pillar Maze again. I'm just going to get one encounter here in at the end of Victory Road. Hopefully it'll take one encounter. It might take 2 because we've only got a Machop here. Yeah, it's going to take another encounter just so that we can get up to level 55 for Lorelei. Lorelei is, of course, an Ice-type specialist, so she should be fairly easy. And then the rest should hopefully go our way as well. Can we teleport back to the league? No, we can't because we deposited Abra, didn't we, Doi? I wonder if we can if we didn't deposit Abra. That's something I'll need to find out at some point. But not right now. We are heading headfirst into the league, where this is Lorelei. She is, of course, a Ice-type specialist. I literally just said it, Squidge. Who leads with Dugong. Hail is interesting, actually. She can counter our surfing ways. Why don't we go out? And why don't we get ourselves Thunderbolt? TM24, and we'll get rid of Body Slam at this point. I think it's surplus to requirements. And so we'll try the league again, this time with a much better learn set. Lorelei leads with Dugong. Now, how much do we do just with a straight old Thunderbolt? Quite a lot, but not enough to one-shot. She is hopefully going to healing loop here. So if we set up a Calm Mind, Surf's going to do nothing at all, really. Can get rid of the Dugong. On to the Cloister we go. It's going to stall with Protect, of course. But it has no special, so it will go down straight away. What about the Slowbro? One shot. Nice, nice, nice. We'll Surf the Jinx. She has sent us to sleep, annoyingly. But she's going to do absolutely nothing at all against us. And then we high roll the next time. Lapras comes out. We will use another Calm Mind here. And we get the one shot. Lorelei has been defeated in 1:10:36. And that brings us on to Bruno, the fighting type specialist, who is going to lead with Onyx. I'm very happy about him leading with Onyx because this should hopefully just be fairly free setup. We'll set up a couple of Calm Minds here, and then we should hopefully just get to sweeping him. Onyx goes down, Hitmonchan goes down, grow to 57, Hitmonlee comes out. Hitmonlee does a bit of damage with Mega Kick because we did get a speed drop, of course, with the Rock Tomb there, but he's only got an Onyx left to go, bless him. Absolutely zero chance of him winning that battle. We are through Bruno, and we can move on to Agatha. Now for Agatha, we are going to use one of our full restores. We'll plonk those up to the top of the bag. And we do have an Ether. We will Ether Surf. And we will take on Agatha. Third League member, Ghost type specialist, leads with Gengar. Now does this Gengar have Hypnosis? It's gone for Calm for Double Team, that's fine. Through the Gengar on to the Golbat. Ice Beam knocks it out in one. And we will Surf against this Arbok. We do have the Rain helping us in this battle, so we should have no issues at all now. Level 58 acquired, one Lost Haunter left to go. We defeat it and we say goodbye to Agatha. I don't actually think we need to do anything in preparation for Lance. He is the liar with the flyers, and he is going to lead with Gyarados. Thunderbolts with Gyarados' name on it, knock it out in one. Here comes Dragonair number one. We will use Ice Beam, we get rid of that Dragonair, and he sends out another because he hasn't learned his lesson. Two Dragonair go away, onto the Dragonite. One Dragonite completely disposed of, Aerodactyl's last. It will hit us very lightly with a wing attack. We'll grow up to level 59, and we have defeated Lance. That just means there is one battle left to go. We are back at full health, we are at maximum PP. Let's try and get through the last rival battle. This is the final battle of the challenge. He leads with Pidgeot. What does an Ice Beam do against Pidgeot? It knocks it out in one. Why am I surprised? Venusaur's next. Two shot on the Venusaur. He's trying to grow his special attack. It'll be nothing for him though because we can two-shot it. We will use Surf against the Alakazam. We'll get rid of it straight away. Rhydon's next. Poor Rhydon. We just destroy it, don't we? We now have a quad super effective move for the Gyarados in the form of Thunderbolt. And his next Pokemon is going to be Arcanine. I think this is his last as well, and I think we are getting a sweep. Yes, we are. So we defeat the rival in 1:13:55. I must click the split. And what is our Hall of Fame time? Oh, we've got it. 1:13:55 for this run. I do need to fix the auto splits, but I am very happy with the time we're working for the most part there. Just need to try and remove a little bit of technology. And now, even though this isn't an official run, we'll put it on our leaderboard, first place. Happy about that for a warm-up back into FireRed. So yeah, this won't stay on the main leaderboard. It will get removed because it was a pilot run and it's not going to be available to the public. But water does seem to be dominant in the Gen 1 runs, doesn't it? We will do another video like this for Emerald, and then I've got another idea for a pilot video a little bit later on as well. But I do want to take this chance to reiterate my thank you to all of you for being wonderful HM friends. It really is a pleasure doing this, and the fact that you are contributing financially to the channel does mean the world. So I will thank each and every one of you for your support, and I really hope you enjoy the videos here. If you've got any feedback, please do let me know. I will take everything on board, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.